Ladies and gentlemen, listen to me closely, because what I'm about to say isn't just theory, it's reality. You can fake your words, you can fake your smile, you can even fake your confidence for a little while. But time will always reveal the truth. Time has a way of stripping away the masks, of exposing what's real, of showing what's been built on rock and what's been built on sand. You see, people often get discouraged when they don't see results right away. They start something, they put in a week, a month, maybe even a year of effort. And if the breakthrough doesn't come immediately, they throw in the towel. But let me tell you something, time is not your enemy. It's your greatest ally, because time has this beautiful, unstoppable way of rewarding consistency, discipline, and resilience. Think about it. The strongest tree doesn't shoot up overnight. It digs its roots deep underground, unseen, invisible, working in silence. It faces storms, it faces winds, it faces drought. But because it stayed rooted, because it stayed consistent, because it refused to quit, over time it becomes unshakable. That's you. That's your journey. And time will show what you're really made of. Every single day, life is asking you a question. Are you serious? Do you mean it? Are you willing to keep showing up even when no one's clapping for you? Even when no one sees you? Even when the world is doubting you? And if your answer is yes, if you keep moving forward, if you keep investing in yourself, if you keep grinding when others give up, time will show. It will show the strength of your character. It will show the depth of your vision. It will show the unstoppable power of your persistence. Don't worry about proving people wrong. Don't waste your energy trying to convince the doubters, the haters, or the skeptics. Let time do that for you. Because one day they'll look back and say, wow, I didn't see it then, but now it's undeniable. That's the gift of time. It doesn't lie. It doesn't exaggerate. It doesn't play favorites. It simply reveals. So I challenge you right here, right now, to stop being impatient with your progress. Stop comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. Stop demanding instant rewards for seeds that need time to grow. Trust the process. Trust your work. Trust yourself, because time will show. And when it does, when the results of your sweat, your sacrifice, your relentless effort finally rise up for the world to see, you'll realize something powerful. It was never about the applause. It was never about proving them wrong. It was always about proving yourself right. Because time doesn't just show the world who you are. It shows you who you've become. Consistency beats speed. Most people make the mistake of thinking that success is about how fast they can achieve their goals, how quickly they can see results, or how instantly the world can recognize their effort. They chase shortcuts. They chase viral moments. They chase recognition. But the truth is, the results that last, the ones that change your life, are never built overnight. They are the product of consistent daily effort, repeated relentlessly over time. When you commit to being consistent, you start to build a foundation so strong that no storm, no obstacle, no doubt from others can shake it. Consistency is not glamorous. It doesn't come with fireworks or applause. It doesn't offer instant gratification, but it's the invisible force that compounds your efforts until they become unstoppable. Every time you wake up and choose to take action, even when you don't feel like it, even when it seems pointless, you are investing in yourself, in your future, in the life you are determined to create. People often underestimate the power of showing up every single day. They look at someone successful and assume it all happens suddenly, as if luck played a bigger role than effort. They fail to see the thousands of hours of practice, the failures, the adjustments, the persistence that happened behind the scenes. Consistency is the secret weapon that separates those who dream from those who achieve. It is not about how fast you run, but about how committed you are to keep running, even when the finish line is not in sight. Every small action you take compounds like interest in a bank account. Every choice to follow through on your promises, every effort to stick to your schedule, every moment you resist giving up adds up in ways you cannot immediately measure. Time magnifies consistency in ways that speed cannot match. When you are consistent, you begin to develop momentum. Momentum is a force that once created becomes self-sustaining. The more you show up, the easier it becomes to continue showing up. It builds confidence, it builds trust in yourself, and it builds habits that carry you forward even on days when motivation is low. Motivation is fleeting. Inspiration is temporary. But consistency is unshakable. It is the engine that keeps you moving forward when everything else tries to stop you. It is the quiet rhythm of effort, repeated day after day, week after week, month after month, until what once seemed impossible becomes inevitable. When you choose consistency over speed, you are choosing to honor your long-term vision over short-term gratification. You are choosing to trust the process, even when the results are not immediate. Consistency also teaches resilience. Every time you keep going despite failure, despite setbacks, despite doubt from others, You are proving to yourself that you are capable of more than you ever imagined. You learn to adapt, to refine your approach, to persist even when conditions are not perfect. Speed without consistency is reckless. It is like sprinting without direction. You may move quickly, but you may never reach the destination that truly matters. Consistency without speed ensures that every step, no matter how small, is deliberate, focused, and aligned with your ultimate goal. It is the accumulation of these steps day after day that builds mastery, expertise, and results that last. Think about the greatest achievers in any field. None of them became successful overnight. None of them reached their highest potential through a single act of genius or a moment of luck. They reached their level of success through consistent action over long periods of time. They practiced daily, they learned from their mistakes, they adjusted their strategy, and they kept showing up when no one was watching. Their progress may have seemed invisible in the early days, but every day they chose consistency over instant results. They were building the foundation for breakthroughs that would eventually change everything. This is the power of choosing consistency. Consistency also creates trust and credibility. People respect those who are reliable, who keep their word, and who follow through on their commitments. When you are consistent in your actions, you send a powerful message to the world that you are serious, that you are committed, that you are someone who can be counted on. This trust, once earned, opens doors that speed alone cannot. Opportunities, relationships, and recognition often come as a result of your persistent effort over time. People are drawn to those who are consistent because consistency signals discipline, integrity, and the ability to deliver results. It is a quality that distinguishes mediocrity from excellence, effort from achievement, and intention from reality. Every day that you show up consistently, you are also shaping your identity. You are teaching yourself who you are and what you are capable of. When you wake up every day and do what you said you would do, even when it is hard, you are becoming the type of person who can achieve big goals. You are proving to yourself that you are reliable, disciplined, and committed. Over time, this self-trust becomes unbreakable. It is no longer about wishing for results or hoping for success. It is about knowing deep in your bones that you are capable of creating the life you want because you consistently take the actions that lead there. Consistency is not about being perfect. It is about being persistent. It is about showing up even when circumstances are not ideal. It is about doing the work even when you feel tired, unmotivated, or uncertain. It is about making the choice again and again to honor your commitments to yourself and your goals. It is in this relentless daily effort that transformation occurs. Every small step, every repeated action, every moment of discipline adds up. The results may not be immediate, but if you remain consistent, they will come. And when they come, they are far more powerful, far more meaningful, and far more enduring than any quick success ever could be. Consistency also allows for learning and improvement. When you commit to doing something consistently, you give yourself the opportunity to refine your skills, adjust your approach, and grow in ways that rushed effort never allows. You begin to understand the nuances, the details, the patterns that make the difference between good and extraordinary. You begin to notice what works, what doesn't, and how to optimize your approach. This iterative process is only possible when you are consistent, because without consistency, there is no repetition, no feedback, and no chance for mastery to develop. Consistency is a mindset, a lifestyle, and a strategy. It is the conscious decision to prioritize long-term success over short-term satisfaction. It is the commitment to showing up every day, to doing the work, to trusting that your effort will pay off. And the beauty of consistency is that it compounds. Small actions repeated over time lead to exponential results. The person who is consistent may seem ordinary in the moment, but in the long run, they become unstoppable. They accumulate skills, knowledge, experience, and results that cannot be taken away. They create a life that reflects the power of their relentless commitment. When you embrace consistency over speed, you release the pressure to perform instantly. You stop comparing yourself to others who seem to be moving faster, and you focus on your own path, your own progress, your own growth. You build confidence in yourself, resilience in the face of challenges, and clarity about what truly matters. You learn that the journey is as important as the destination because every step you take consistently is shaping who you are becoming. Consistency is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Without it, even the most ambitious goals remain dreams. With it, even modest effort can create extraordinary results. It is the difference between starting and finishing, between wishing and achieving, between hoping and knowing. It is the silent, powerful force that transforms ordinary people into legends, small actions into massive impact, and daily choices into a life of purpose, fulfillment, and achievement. The key to lasting success is not speed. It is not shortcuts. It is not instant gratification. It is consistency. It is showing up every day, doing the work, and trusting that the compound effect of your effort over time will deliver results beyond what you can imagine. The strongest, most successful, most fulfilled people in the world did not get there by rushing. They got there by committing, by persisting, and by being consistent in their actions, their mindset, and their dedication to their vision. Consistency beats speed because speed without consistency is fleeting, unreliable, and unsustainable. Consistency ensures that every effort counts, every action builds momentum, and every day contributes to your ultimate goal. It is the quiet force that underlies extraordinary results. It is the invisible hand that shapes your life, molds your character, and defines your future. By choosing consistency over speed, you are choosing to play the long game, to honor your journey, and to trust that the work you do today will create the life you desire. Tomorrow, patience reveals strength. It is easy to be inspired in moments of excitement, to feel motivated when everything is going well, to act boldly when the path seems clear. But true strength is revealed in patience, in the ability to endure, to persist, and to keep moving forward, even when the road is difficult, uncertain, and long. The world often rewards the impatient, the loud, the flashy, and the immediate. But those who understand the value of patience know that lasting success, deep growth, and genuine achievement are rarely instant. Patience is not about waiting passively. It is about actively trusting the process, understanding the timing of life, and mastering the art of persistence in the face of delay. Every person who has achieved something extraordinary understands this. They have learned that the seeds of greatness take time to grow, and that strength, resilience, and wisdom are forged in the quiet moments of endurance, far from the spotlight. When you are patient, you allow yourself the time to develop the skills, the mindset, and the character necessary to handle the results you seek. Impatience often leads to shortcuts, mistakes, and decisions made from fear rather than clarity. Patience, on the other hand, gives you the space to learn, to experiment, to adapt, and to improve. It allows you to see the bigger picture, to understand the connections between effort and outcome, and to appreciate that progress is often invisible at first. Strength is not measured by how fast you reach your goals, but by how well you withstand the challenges and pressures along the way. Every trial you face, every setback you endure, every moment of uncertainty is an opportunity to cultivate patience, and through it, reveal your true strength. Life will challenge you in ways you cannot anticipate. There will be times when it feels like nothing is happening, when you feel stuck, overlooked, or ignored. In those moments, patience is your greatest ally. It allows you to stay focused on your vision, to maintain your commitment, and to continue putting in the work without being distracted by the immediate lack of results. The strongest people are not those who run the fastest. They are those who can pace themselves, who understand that life is a marathon, not a sprint. They know that every day they remain patient, every time they choose to endure, every moment they resist the urge to give up, they are building strength that will last far beyond the immediate moment. Patience also develops perspective. When you rush, when you demand immediate results, you often miss the lessons, the nuances, and the opportunities that are present in the journey. By practicing patience, you allow yourself to observe, reflect, and understand. You gain insight into your own patterns, your strengths, and your weaknesses. You begin to recognize the connections between effort and outcome, between cause and effect, between action and consequence. This perspective is invaluable because it enables you to make smarter decisions, to act with clarity, and to cultivate the kind of strength that is not superficial or temporary, but deep, enduring, and unshakable. Consider the most accomplished individuals in any field. They didn't achieve greatness because they were the fastest or because they had immediate success. They achieved it because they were patient. They worked diligently, repeatedly, and consistently, even when the world seemed indifferent. They understood that mastery, influence, and achievement require time, and that the ability to endure, to persevere, and to remain patient is what separates the extraordinary from the ordinary. Strength is revealed in the willingness to wait for the right moment, to prepare fully before acting, and to remain committed to your purpose even when immediate results are not visible. Patience also strengthens your emotional resilience. Life will throw obstacles in your path. People will doubt you. Circumstances will change unexpectedly, and failure will test your determination. The impatient react emotionally, they panic, they make rash choices, they give up too soon. The patient, however, respond with calm, clarity, and confidence. They understand that setbacks are temporary, that challenges are part of the process, and that true strength is measured by how well you maintain composure and focus under pressure. The ability to stay patient during difficult times builds emotional endurance, self-control, and mental fortitude, all of which are essential for long-term success. Patience is also a form of strategic power. When you rush, you risk making mistakes, overlooking details, or missing opportunities that require careful timing. When you are patient, you allow yourself to observe, plan, and execute with precision. You learn to wait for the moment when your actions will have the greatest impact, and you develop the discipline to stay committed until that moment arrives. Strength is not just about brute force or speed, it is about timing, strategy, and the ability to act decisively when the conditions are right. Patience cultivates this strength by teaching you to endure the waiting, to prepare thoroughly, and to remain steady even when progress seems slow or invisible. Patience also builds confidence. When you can wait, endure, and persist without immediate rewards, you begin to trust yourself and your abilities. You realize that you are capable of handling challenges, setbacks, and delays without losing momentum or focus. This confidence is not superficial. It is grounded in experience, discipline, and the understanding that time, effort, and patience ultimately produce results. Every act of patience reinforces your sense of self-efficacy, your belief in your own strength, and your commitment to your goals. The power of patience is also evident in relationships, leadership, and influence. People respond to those who are steady, reliable, and composed. Patience allows you to listen, to understand, and to guide others effectively. It enables you to build trust, respect, and credibility over time. Those who act impulsively or demand immediate results often undermine their influence, while those who demonstrate patience consistently gain respect and inspire confidence. Strength, therefore, is not only internal but also relational, and patience is the key to cultivating both dimensions of power. Patience is ultimately a mindset, a choice, and a practice. It requires discipline, self-control, and a commitment to long-term vision. It is about understanding that life unfolds in its own timing, that progress is often gradual, and that the most valuable outcomes are rarely instant. When you embrace patience, you develop the ability to endure adversity, to maintain focus, and to cultivate strength that is deep, enduring, and unshakable. It allows you to navigate challenges with grace, to persist despite obstacles, and to continue building toward your goals even when immediate results are not apparent. Every time you practice patience, you reveal your inner strength. Every moment you resist the urge to quit, to rush, or to take shortcuts, you are reinforcing your resilience, your character, and your capacity to achieve extraordinary results. Patience is not passive, it is active, deliberate, and powerful. It is the force that transforms waiting into preparation, challenges into growth, and time into evidence of your true capability. Those who master patience learn that strength is not demonstrated in the speed of action, but in the ability to endure, persist, and remain committed. No matter how long it takes, let time prove you. So many people spend their energy trying to convince the world of their worth, trying to prove themselves to friends, colleagues, family, and even strangers. They shout, they argue, they defend, they justify, hoping that recognition will come quickly. But the truth is, the world doesn't care about your explanations, your promises, or your speeches. The world only cares about results, about action, and about what is undeniable over time. When you focus on proving yourself constantly, you are relying on the opinions of others to validate your existence. You are giving away your power, your focus, and your energy to people who may never truly understand your journey. Instead, let time prove you, let your results, your growth, and your unwavering commitment speak for you in a way that no argument ever could. When you let time prove you, you shift your focus from external validation to internal growth. You stop chasing approval and start chasing mastery. You stop explaining yourself and start improving yourself. Every action you take, every step you make, every challenge you overcome becomes evidence of your commitment and capability. Time magnifies these actions. Small, consistent choices compound into significant results, and what seemed impossible or invisible in the moment becomes undeniable over time. Those who try to prove themselves too soon, too loudly, or too aggressively often falter because they are impatient, seeking quick recognition instead of cultivating the enduring proof that only consistent effort can produce. Patience and perseverance are at the core of letting time prove you. Life will test your resolve. People will doubt you. Circumstances may seem unfair. The critics will be loud, and during these moments, it is tempting to respond immediately, to justify yourself, to demand recognition. But true power comes from restraint. True strength comes from staying committed, showing up, and continuing to do the work without needing anyone to acknowledge it in the moment. Letting time do the proving allows you to focus on what actually matters, your craft, your effort, your growth, without being distracted by temporary judgment, fleeting opinions, or superficial approval. Let time prove you also requires trust, trust in yourself, trust in your process, and trust in the natural flow of life. It is easy to doubt, to question, and to feel frustrated when results don't appear immediately. But those who understand the value of time know that patience is not passive. It is active. It is the deliberate choice to invest in yourself consistently, to take deliberate action daily, and to maintain focus even when progress feels invisible. Over time, these consistent actions build a body of proof that no one can ignore. Every obstacle you overcome, every challenge you endure, every skill you develop, every act of discipline becomes part of the undeniable evidence of your capability and character. People who rush to prove themselves often fall into the trap of comparison. They look at what others have achieved and feel inadequate or pressured to perform. They try to fast, track results, manipulate perception, or seek shortcuts to gain recognition. But time has a way of revealing what is real and what is superficial. Only the work that is genuine, consistent, and aligned with purpose endures. Everything else fades away. When you allow time to do the proving, you release the need to compete with anyone else. You stop comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. Instead, you focus on building, growing, and becoming confident that time will reveal your strength, your skill, and your impact. The beauty of letting time prove you is that it builds credibility that no one can dispute. Words, promises, and intentions are fragile. They can be questioned, doubted, or ignored. But consistent action, sustained effort, and tangible results are undeniable. Over time, people begin to see the patterns, the dedication, and the excellence in your work. They recognize the person who does what they say, who shows up even when it is hard, who continues to push forward regardless of setbacks. This is the proof that commands respect, earns influence, and demonstrates character. When you rely on time rather than immediate validation, your achievements carry a weight and permanence that fleeting applause can never match. Letting time prove you also strengthens your inner resilience. When you stop seeking constant recognition, you stop being vulnerable to external judgment. You become less reactive to criticism and more focused on action. You develop the mental and emotional discipline necessary to persist through challenges. Life will not always reward effort instantly, but those who keep moving forward, who remain committed to their path without needing instant validation, are the ones who ultimately achieve lasting success. Time becomes your ally, revealing not only your results, but also the depth of your character and the tenacity of your spirit. Every setback, every delay, and every moment of doubt becomes an opportunity when you let time prove you. Instead of panicking or losing confidence, you learn to lean into the process. You understand that growth and success are cumulative, that patience and persistence compound over time, and that every small effort contributes to the larger story of your life. Time rewards the diligent, the persistent, and the focused. It exposes the difference between those who are here for the short-term recognition and those who are committed for the long-term transformation. The work you put in consistently, even when unseen, will eventually rise to the surface, undeniable and powerful. Letting time prove you also shifts your mindset from fear to empowerment. Fear often drives people to prove themselves prematurely. They want to be seen, recognized, or validated before they are ready. But when you trust time, you realize that you don't need to justify yourself to anyone. You don't need approval to act. You don't need applause to continue. You simply need commitment, persistence, and patience. Over time, your results, your achievements, and your growth will speak louder than any argument ever could. You become untouchable not because you seek validation, but because your actions, sustained over time, have become undeniable proof of your ability and potential. Another profound aspect of letting time prove you is the freedom it creates. When you stop trying to convince others constantly, you release yourself from the pressure of external judgment. You stop seeking permission to pursue your goals. You stop allowing doubts or criticisms to dictate your actions. Instead, you focus on mastery, progress, and impact. This freedom allows you to take bold actions, experiment, learn from mistakes, and innovate without the constant fear of failure. Time becomes your witness, your validation, and your ultimate proof, allowing you to act with courage and clarity. Let time prove you also teaches humility. When you focus on action rather than recognition, you develop a deeper understanding of what matters. You learn that success is not about who shouts the loudest or gets the fastest applause, but about who is willing to do the work, stay committed, and endure the journey. Humility paired with perseverance creates a strength that is magnetic, inspiring, and impossible to ignore. People respect those who let their results speak for themselves because it demonstrates confidence, discipline, and self-trust. Letting time prove you requires discipline in thought, word, and action. It requires that you focus on what you can control, maintain consistency in your efforts, and resist the temptation to seek immediate recognition. It requires patience when results are delayed, courage when the journey feels lonely, and persistence when challenges seem insurmountable. But those who embrace this approach ultimately achieve results that are lasting, undeniable, and meaningful. Time becomes the ultimate measure, revealing not only what you have achieved, but also who you have become through the process. Trust the process. So often we want to skip steps, take shortcuts, or force results to appear before the time is right. We measure our worth by immediate outcomes, by fast wins, by instant gratification, forgetting that the journey itself is the teacher. The process is not random, it is purposeful. Every challenge, every failure, every repetitive task, and every step forward is designed to shape you, to prepare you, to build the foundation for the success that lies ahead. When you trust the process, you stop fighting against the natural flow of growth and start aligning yourself with it. You begin to understand that every moment, no matter how small, contributes to your ultimate transformation. The process may seem slow at times, it may seem unfair, it may test your patience, but it is precise in its work, exact in its lessons, and faithful in its results. Trusting the process means understanding that immediate results are not always the measure of progress. Sometimes the most critical growth happens behind the scenes in ways that are invisible, unrecognized, and unnoticed. Your skills are developing even when you do not feel confident. Your resilience is strengthening even when the path seems impossible. Your mindset is expanding even when doubts creep in. The process is always at work, quietly, patiently, persistently molding you into the person capable of handling the next level of challenges, opportunities, and responsibilities. When you trust the process, you stop rushing, you stop forcing, and you start showing up consistently with faith in the unseen power of your effort. Many people fail not because the process is flawed, but because they abandon it too early. They start with enthusiasm, excitement, and high energy, but when results do not appear quickly, when recognition does not come immediately, they lose faith. They assume something is wrong with the journey or with themselves. But trust in the process requires endurance. It requires the belief that your effort is never wasted, that the lessons you are learning now will compound over time, and that the universe or life's natural order rewards those who remain patient, committed, and faithful to the work. The process is a long-term equation, and every day you participate in it adds to the sum of your success. Trusting the process also requires embracing uncertainty. Life rarely unfolds according to a perfect plan. Obstacles appear, delays happen, and unexpected challenges emerge. But the process is not derailed by setbacks, it is reinforced by them. Each obstacle is a test, each failure is a lesson, and each detour is an opportunity to grow stronger, wiser, and more capable. When you trust the process, you do not fear uncertainty, you embrace it. You recognize that growth is not linear, that mastery is not immediate, and that transformation takes time, repetition, and patience. The process is designed to test your commitment, to expand your abilities, and to reveal your potential, even when the path seems unclear. Trusting the process also requires discipline. It is easy to be motivated when the work is exciting, when progress is visible, or when praise is abundant. True discipline, however, is showing up even when motivation wanes, even when the work feels tedious, even when results seem distant. Discipline is the engine of the process. It is what converts effort into growth, repetition into mastery, and challenges into breakthroughs. Every choice to persist, every action taken consistently, and every moment of focus builds momentum that cannot be rushed but cannot be ignored. The process rewards those who honor it through unwavering commitment and consistent action. Trusting the process also involves surrendering control without surrendering effort. Many people struggle because they try to force outcomes, to manipulate circumstances, or to predict results before their time. But the process works best when you commit fully to your actions while releasing attachment to immediate outcomes. Focus on the quality of your work, the integrity of your actions, and the consistency of your effort. Let the results unfold according to their natural timing. The paradox is that the more you surrender to the process, the more aligned you become with it, and the more powerful the outcomes become. By trusting the process, you allow your effort to meet the right conditions, your preparation to meet the right opportunities, and your growth to manifest at exactly the right moment. Trusting the process also requires humility. You must accept that you do not have all the answers, that you will make mistakes, and that you will encounter periods of doubt or uncertainty. The process is humbling by design, teaching patience, self-awareness, and resilience. Each failure, each correction, and each moment of persistence builds character that no shortcut can provide. The process teaches you to respect the journey, to honor the lessons in discomfort, and to recognize that real growth often comes disguised as struggle. Those who master the process understand that every challenge, every setback, and every repetition is a necessary ingredient in the recipe for long-term success. When you trust the process, you also cultivate resilience. Life will challenge your confidence, your patience, and your focus. Obstacles will arise that seem unfair or insurmountable. Criticism will test your resolve, and setbacks will tempt you to quit. But the process equips you with the tools to endure, adapt, and overcome. Each repetition, each lesson, and each step strengthens your capacity to handle greater challenges in the future. Resilience is not something that can be learned instantly. It is forged over time through consistent effort, patience, and unwavering trust in the process. Trusting the process is also about focusing on what you can control. You cannot control every circumstance, every reaction, or every outcome, but you can control your effort, your mindset, and your commitment. By dedicating yourself fully to your actions while trusting the process to deliver results in its own time, you align yourself with a force that is bigger than immediate recognition or validation. You cultivate confidence in your ability to handle whatever comes next, and you develop a calm, composed mindset that allows you to persevere even in the face of uncertainty. Trusting the process also deepens your sense of purpose. When you are focused on immediate results, it is easy to lose sight of why you started, what you are building toward, and who you are becoming in the process. By committing to the journey and trusting the steps along the way, you stay connected to your purpose, your vision, and your ultimate goals. The process reminds you that each day, each task, and each effort is meaningful. It is shaping you into the person capable of achieving what you desire, preparing you for opportunities, challenges, and breakthroughs that would not be possible without the journey itself. Trusting the process teaches you to value growth over recognition. Recognition is fleeting, applause is temporary, and validation is external. Growth, skill, mastery, and character are internal, lasting, and compounded over time. When you focus on the process rather than immediate approval, you prioritize the development of your abilities, the expansion of your mindset, and the strengthening of your resilience. Over time, these qualities produce results that are undeniable, and the impact of your work becomes apparent not because you demanded recognition, but because you committed fully to the journey and allowed the process to do its work. The process also creates a mindset of long-term vision. Immediate gratification tempts people to chase quick wins, to abandon effort when results are delayed, and to become discouraged when success is not instant. Trusting the process shifts your perspective. You see each moment as a building block, each repetition as a step toward mastery, and each challenge as preparation for what lies ahead. You develop patience, perspective, and perseverance, understanding that real achievement is a marathon, not a sprint. Trusting the process ultimately transforms your relationship with effort, failure, and time. You learn that success is not a single moment, but the culmination of consistent, deliberate action over time. You learn that setbacks are part of the journey, not signs of defeat. You learn that patience, discipline, and persistence are more valuable than instant results. When you trust the process, you align yourself with the natural rhythm of growth, allowing every effort, every challenge, and every lesson to contribute to the ultimate outcome. Your journey, your validation are too many people spend their lives seeking approval from others, looking for external recognition to define their worth. They ask, do they see me? Do they respect me? Do they approve of what I am doing? And while the opinions of others can sometimes provide feedback, they can never provide the validation that matters most. True validation comes from within. It comes from honoring your path, respecting your choices, and trusting your own judgment. When you make your journey your own, when you stop asking for permission to live your life fully, you tap into a source of power that cannot be taken away, challenged, or diminished. Your journey becomes proof of your character, your commitment, and your growth. Your journey is unique. No one else has walked your path, faced your challenges, or carried your experiences. Comparing yourself to others, measuring your progress against someone else's timeline, or waiting for someone else's approval is a trap that leads to frustration, doubt, and distraction. Validation from the outside is temporary. It fluctuates with the moods, biases, and perceptions of others. When you center your validation within yourself, you free yourself from external pressures and align your energy with the work that truly matters. Your choices, your discipline, your persistence, and your courage are all evidence that your journey is meaningful and worthy, and the recognition you seek becomes a byproduct of your authenticity rather than the goal of your effort. Your journey, when respected and honored, builds confidence. Confidence does not come from trophies, titles, or applause. It comes from knowing that you are following your path, committing to your growth, and doing the work necessary to become the person you want to be. Every decision you make, every challenge you overcome, every skill you develop contributes to this self-affirming proof. The more you invest in your journey, the more undeniable your validation becomes. This internal sense of validation strengthens your resilience because it is not dependent on others' opinions. No one can take it away, no criticism can diminish it, and no failure can erase it because it is anchored in your own commitment to yourself and your vision. Your journey also teaches self-trust. Life will present obstacles, doubts, and setbacks. People will question your choices. Circumstances may challenge your resolve, and failures will test your commitment. When you rely on external validation, these moments can shake your confidence and distract you from your path. But when your validation comes from within, you respond with clarity, calm, and persistence. You trust your judgment, your abilities, and your capacity to navigate challenges. You learn that your path is not about pleasing others, but about fulfilling your potential and honoring your own standards. Each step you take, each lesson you embrace, each action you take in alignment with your vision reinforces your self-trust and makes your journey increasingly powerful and meaningful. Your journey, your validation, is also about embracing your progress rather than fixating on perfection. Many people hold themselves back because they feel they are not yet enough, not yet skilled, not yet recognized, or not yet deserving. But validation is not about arriving at a perfect state. It is about acknowledging growth, persistence, and effort. Every day you take intentional steps forward. Every challenge you overcome. Every choice to continue despite difficulty is proof of your value and proof that your journey matters. When you allow your journey itself to validate you, you release the constant comparison, the endless self-criticism, and the pressure to perform for others. You develop a mindset that celebrates progress, resilience, and authenticity. Your journey also cultivates independence. Relying on external validation creates dependency on others' approval, which limits your freedom, creativity, and courage. When your validation comes from within, you make decisions based on your values, your goals, and your purpose rather than on what others expect or demand. You act with integrity because your actions are aligned with your own standards, not because you are seeking acceptance. This independence empowers you to take risks, embrace challenges, and pursue opportunities that others may fear or overlook. The more you trust your journey, the stronger your sense of self, and the more unstoppable you become in creating the life you want. Your journey is also a teacher. Every experience, every success, and every setback carries lessons that are uniquely yours. When you allow your journey to validate you, you begin to recognize these lessons as evidence of your growth. Challenges are no longer threats. They are opportunities to learn, adapt, and strengthen your resolve. Mistakes are no longer sources of shame. They are proof that you are engaged, trying, and learning. Your journey becomes a narrative of resilience, courage, and commitment, and the validation you receive internally grows with every chapter you complete. Your journey, your validation also enhances focus. When you are dependent on external recognition, you are constantly distracted by what others think, expect, or demand. Your energy is divided between your goals and the opinions of those around you. By making your journey the source of your validation, you redirect your energy entirely to your growth, your effort, and your vision. You develop a laser-like focus on what matters, undeterred by criticism, doubt, or societal pressure. This focus accelerates your progress and magnifies the impact of your work because it is grounded in authenticity rather than in seeking approval. Your journey also strengthens resilience and emotional intelligence. When your validation comes from yourself, you develop a deep sense of stability. External setbacks, rejection, or criticism may still affect you, but they do not define you. You are no longer at the mercy of opinions, circumstances, or recognition. Instead, you develop the emotional maturity to respond thoughtfully, to adapt strategically, and to continue moving forward with determination. Each challenge you face and overcome adds to your internal proof, reinforcing that your journey itself is the measure of your strength and capability. Your journey, your validation, also encourages authenticity. When you rely on your own judgment and progress to validate you, you are free to be yourself fully. You no longer need to perform for acceptance, fit into someone else's expectations, or compromise your values to gain recognition. You can pursue what excites you, what challenges you, and what fulfills your purpose. Authenticity becomes your guide, your standard, and your power, and the more authentic you are, the more your journey becomes a compelling story of resilience, courage, and growth. Your journey teaches patience. Real growth, meaningful achievement, and lasting transformation take time. Those who look externally for validation often become frustrated when success is delayed or recognition is slow. But when you rely on your journey for validation, you cultivate patience and perspective. You understand that each step, no matter how small, contributes to the larger trajectory of your life. You learn to trust your effort, honor your discipline, and embrace the timing of your progress. Patience becomes a natural byproduct of self-validation, and this patience strengthens your ability to endure challenges, setbacks, and periods of uncertainty. Your journey, your validation is ultimately empowering. It places the power to define your worth, measure your progress, and assess your growth firmly in your own hands. No one can diminish it, no criticism can shake it, and no external circumstance can erase it. Every step you take, every challenge you overcome, every lesson you learn adds to your internal proof that you are capable, committed, and on the right path. When you rely on your journey for validation, you live life on your own terms with purpose, clarity and resilience